Good morning, guys. Welcome to this uh, Thursday on February 19th. Thursday already, Friday coming up. And right now, it's kind of right back down again. Had a pretty good move up yesterday. Overnight, just got it right back down again. Looks like the market is not quite ready for any moves. The only concerning thing right now is like, yeah, it looks like if this is was just a little stall on the way down, we may have another attempt to take this lower. No attempts to really retrace this at this point. And they had a pretty good day yesterday, but you can see the follow through was pretty meandering. We are pretty much right back to that lower range again in the overnight. Now we have news coming out today. We see at 8:30 we get international trade, jobless claims, Philly Fed. Retail and wholesale inventory is all happening at 8:30. Pending home sales at 10, leading indicators at 10 as well. And that's about it. So 8:30 and 10, we have news. I don't think any of that stuff is really going to move the market. Friday, though, Friday we get the GDP read, we get the PCE read, and we got a lot of stuff happening on Friday morning. So that could be interesting. Right now, I'm thinking we're getting more of the same. Uh, the only concern I have is really that we had this little move down and we haven't been able really to retrace it and get it to reestablish ourselves back at 69.60. So it's kind of not holding in this lower range. Nice attempt to take it higher yesterday, but that was promptly reversed. And then overnight, popped a little, they had a little bit of a rally at the end. You remember, I tried to get long at that in M period, and that just got me crushed yesterday. And of course, in end period, it happens. So that's you have to wait for that last little hurrah to the downside. It's just sometimes it's you just have to just kind of on the wrong side of things. But that's trading for you. You just have to be prepared to re-engage if you think that's going to work out, and just minimize losses on the trades which are not working. But I was watching this the area down here, thinking that we had a shot at holding support, and yeah, it held in N period, but not in M. So there you go. But overnight, we have been up here, all the way up here to that 69.10. Now we're all the way back down here to the 68.65s, and building value right here at the lower end of the range. So I'm thinking we may see us more of a range bound day. Given the overnight, maybe look for early weakness, see if they can try to take it lower from the get-go. The only concern I have, we have a couple of days of retrace. Try to take it lower. We had a couple of days of retracement, but bargain hunting, if you wish, and then we may see another attempt to take this lower again. It's kind of what I'm thinking. So I would look for that, see if they're going to try to knock it down. The levels to pay attention to is going to be these areas down here, the 69.30s, the 50s, 40s, and 30s. These three support areas, if they come out. And if they take all those three out, I think that's when we have kind of confirmation that, yeah, they're going to try to take this lower. So I would look to buy against those still initially. So the first ones is 68.65, 50s, 40s, and 30s. So that's what I'm looking to buy against. Rotations back up. Below the 30s there, I'm going to just shift my bias to the short side and see if they're ready to try to take this lower. If they start trading higher, looking for shorts against the 85s, 6900s, 6910s, 6925s for rotations down. I think if we had a pretty good start of retracement in these single trends, but they kind of run out of gas. So it's anyone's guess if that's going to be they're going to try to get it back up here again. But even the overnight, I'm thinking that we may see an attempt to take it lower instead. We will see. I mean, I think the approach right now is going to be a flat out range bound. Watching these lower support areas, the 50s, 40s, and 30s. If all of them comes out, I would be leaning in on the short side. If they can take out this area, the 6900, I would start thinking about the long side, but still looking for shorts against that 6910 and 6925s for rotations back down again. So that's the way I'm going to approach the day. And I'm going to try to stick to my analysis today. Not get myself caught up in something, you know. Sometimes you just kind of get yourself caught up in stuff. On the Nasdaq, we are, and you have to remember one thing: the analysis requires a little bit of patience. And if I'm notoriously impatient as a person, so it's difficult sometimes. But yeah, it's a much better approach to kind of let the market come to you, take a step back, and when the market gets to an edge, try to engage it. Now the movements in between is where I get myself kind of caught up on it in kind of go with type of trading. But if you are looking for these edges, just to be patient, wait for them, and then let the market come to you. Look for failures, and then try to take the trades as they come up. Nasdaq is down here at this lower end. They're down here in this low volume area. They are pretty close, and the concerning part is it looks like they're building value down here at that lower edge. And that usually means that they're going to try to take at least a one leg lower. We'll see. As long as they haven't taken it out, we have, I guess, hope that they're going to be able to retrace. Still have earnings reports coming out. I think Nvidia has an earning report coming out. I think that's going to be a pretty critical one. I don't know quite when Nvidia report, if it's this, probably next week they report. But I would start off the same way. Look at Nasdaq. They knocked it all the way back down here to this to the value area in this lower distribution. So I would look for early weakness on the Nasdaq. I would key in on the 670s, 700s, and the 760s. These three support areas. If all of them comes out, I would be leaning in on the short side, thinking that okay, that we have a potential to take this lower. So 650s is that three-letter ledge on the F1. So there is I have a 665 here on my chart. It's a better, more precise edge. But so basically the 760s here, the 700s, 710s, and the 670s here, they come out, and we're going to be. I think we are going to be down here trying to take it lower at that point. So I'm looking to buy initially against the 820s, 760s, 710s, and the 670s for rotations up. And on the way up, looking for short setups against the 920s, 970s, 25,000s. And about 25,000, I would start leaning in on the long side. I think that could be a good sign that they may be taking it higher. But still looking for longs, for short setups against that 25,050s. And I forgot that edge. Come on, Peter. I forgot to draw that in. Right there. All right, we're looking at there. Okay. So that edge right there, and that was the high of yesterday's day session. So if that thing comes out, we may have a shot, but they retraced pretty good on the deep trends here. They had a pretty good move there, and I just can't. It just could not get back up to that 180 level. But it could be a grind to the upside. Climbing that wall of worries. It starts off weak, and then you see this showing up some strength, and then kind of grinding high like that. That is just climbing that wall of worries. But right now, I'm not going to quite count on it. We'll see how the market reacts to news and the general sentiment. So starting off range bound on both ES and NASDAQ, and looking for early weakness given the overnight and how it has been building. See if they want to try to take it lower. But if they start trading higher, I'm looking for short setups all the way up here to the 25,000 on the NASDAQ, and watching these lower support areas. On the ES, looking for short setups up to the 6900s. And again, looking for checking out or watching these lower support areas, the 50s, the 40s, and 30s on the ES. So fairly aggressively going to shift my bias to the short side if those areas come out, and try to go on the short side for a move to the downside. So right now it feels pretty range bound, but overnight signaling a little bit of weakness, and let's see how that develops as we start off the day. On the bond side of things, drifting lower again, back down again. So our move to the upside, and you can see how slow this stuff is. Look at this. They ran a little pop to the upside here. Here was the high around the 1808, 1810s, and they've been drifting lower ever since. And it's just drifting low. How tight these ranges are, and not much of a range to deal with. 16 to this like a half a point range on a trading day. So bond market feels pretty anemic. It's not much going on there. I have not been aggressively traded. I looked for my setup yesterday. I did have a setup, but it was like But if it is tight of a range, you're almost in around the mean all the time. So it's you're not that far away. So you have to be there's not obvious setups, you know, and you just have to take it with a grain of salt. But I know what kind of setup I'm looking for, and it's basically something like this. You have a nice lead, several bars like this where it can't extend, but it has to be throughout the day session. Overnight, you see this all the time, but it's just because the market is not moving. So, but if the market is moving and you get a little bit of range, you go and moving to a level, stalls, and then you get a pattern like that, well, definitely worth a shot at reversing that move. And if you get run over, you can have a reasonably tight stop on that. So usually it works pretty well. All right, so that's the bonds. Yes, flat out range band. Looking to sell strength 1716, 1722. Looking to buy weakness against the 1708 and the 17s rotations up. So that's our range on the bonds. As long as the bond market is not doing much, it's the stock market is probably in pretty good shape. But if you start seeing the bond market move, then we have more bigger problems to worry about. All right, back to the ES and the Nasdaq. So let's see how this whole thing develops, and we'll take it from there. All right, guys, good trading, and I'll see you back at 11:30 for the next update. Later.